From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Bomb Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click the icon on DeWittDailyNews to find out more. The Clinton Chamber is reflecting on 2025 as it gets set to turn the page to 2026. Janice Peterson, Executive Director of the Chamber, indicates 2025 started with the Business Expo, which returned to Clinton Junior High School for the first time in several years. She feels the change was a great success.
So you felt that was great.
Yeah.
A lot easier for our exhibitors to come in and out the back and even in the front to set up kind of a straight shot, no hills, not to walk quite as far.
Sure.
We did have some issues. We didn't know there was baseball games. So this year we're going to kind of make sure that we know the baseball schedule so that we can give our vendors a better place to park or let them know, whichever. We heard a lot of good things about the junior highs. It's scheduled for them again this year.
Nice.
And our vendors can come in the back. They can park back there in the back, and they're just, if that's a smaller parking lot, they can come right in. It's March 26th because we leave on the 27th for convention, for Haunted House Convention.
After the Business Expo wrapped up, Peterson traveled to St. Louis to attend the Haunted House Convention. This is her opportunity to find new props and themes to bring to the terror on Washington Street Haunted House.
We leave that Friday. We have the Business Expo Thursday night. We leave Friday morning for St. Louis.
Cool.
So hotels are booked. Tickets aren't purchased yet, but they will be soon. You know what? It's overwhelming, but I love it. I didn't know what to expect the first year I went. And if anybody's familiar with the America Center, it is in downtown St. Louis. It is full, and it is anything you can imagine for a haunted house, or makeup, or costumes. Anything you can imagine is there. Even if you can't imagine it, somebody else has. And that's where we get our new props. We usually, this year, I honestly don't think we need one this year. So I don't know that we're going to be purchasing anything other than, we might have some costumes that we need or whatever. But
Sure.
It's amazing. The hotel that I like to stay at is right next door, so I can walk out the hotel door, across the driveway, and into the America Center. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's very convenient.
Yeah.
They have valet parking. I just pull my car up. They take my keys. I don't see my car till Sunday, and it's just. But there's a lot of people there, and it's just you learn a lot.
With newfound knowledge and ideas to work on over the summer, Peterson explains they jumped right into the haunted house season. She notes that while attendance numbers were slightly down this year, the second year of offering online ticket sales was a success.
It went pretty good. We were a little bit lower in numbers, but money-wise, we were about the same. So it went great. I don't have any complaints at all. They're about the same.
Okay.
That's a plus no matter how we work it.
Okay.
Yeah, the process is great.
Okay.
We did add last year. We had some issues with people, the online or the tickets being sold out basically for like 7 o'clock through 8:30. So if you came to the ticket booth, you couldn't get in until 8:30. And we had, which we didn't think about that happening. That was something new to us. So this year we added way more tickets. We had a reserve of tickets that we could have got people in just about any time and not overflowed the way we were doing it. So it worked out good.
The final event of the year for the Chamber is the Christmas Parade, and Peterson feels the snow that fell in Clinton created the perfect holiday atmosphere. Former Clinton School Superintendent Kurt Nettles was honored as Grand Marshal.
The weather was perfect. We couldn't have asked way better than what the week before was. One of the Ed Cicenis, who does our pictures, made the comment that he couldn't remember the last time he had photographed a parade with snow on the ground. And there was obviously plenty of snow on the ground, but it turned out nice. The weather was good. We had a lot of good attendance, good entries into the parade. All good.
Good.
Kurt Nettles, former superintendent of schools, was Grand Marshal. He rode in a vehicle furnished by bombs, and his son drove, and then he had all the grandkids in the back with him. It was fun. He said he was a little bit embarrassed at first, but you know what? I think every grand marshal I've talked to in the last few years has been the same way. You know, they don't want the recognition, but they deserve it. And this was a great example of a grand marshal. I think there was just right about 60. We had a couple cancel at the end due to they weren't sure on the weather, and a couple of them had a vehicle issue or whatever. So we did lose a couple, but all in all, Santa's in his house that he was in, his new house, new last year house.
The chamber is back open until the 31st and will close again until January 5th. Learn more about the Clinton Chamber of Commerce at clintonilchamber.org, or you can find them on Facebook. While it may be tempting to brave harsh winter weather and temperatures, taking steps to remain safe is crucial. Shelley Tolley with OSF Piecemeal indicates that seniors are especially susceptible to hypothermia, and it can happen outdoors or even indoors in some cases. This is why it is important to check on your elderly loved ones this holiday season.
It's really important that you keep an eye on your seniors because their bodies don't regulate heat like younger people's bodies do. And some people take medications that affect the regulation of their body temperature. And so hyperthermia can set in quicker for older folks than it can for younger people. And that's when your body core temperature is set down to 95. And I didn't know this, but older people don't shiver as much as younger people do. So they may not see the signs as quickly as a younger person would. So you'll want to look for confusion, weakness, fatigue, slurred speech, shallow breathing. Those are all signs of hyperthermia. And you may think hyperthermia, that's an outside thing, but a lot of my clients are struggling right now with finances, and they might be having their heaters set really low because they're trying to save some money somewhere, or they might be having unsafe heaters. So make sure you have your carbon dioxide monitors on because you don't want to have a bunch of carbon dioxide in the air. Those are silent killers, they call them.
Facing extreme temperatures can also put stress on the heart of an elderly person as their body tries to raise its internal temperature. Dehydration can also be a risk.
Another thing is increased heart strain. Cold causes airways to spasm and it makes your heart to work harder, which could increase heart attacks. Another one is dehydration. We think of that as a hot weather situation. But people don't drink as much when they're cold, so then you can get dehydrated. Drink warm broth. That's really good for you. It keeps your core temperature up, but also hydrates you. And then also be very mindful if you don't need to go out. Don't go out. Fall risks are so high right now. Make sure you're wearing non-slip shoes. If you need to use a cane or a walker, use a cane or a walker. I'm speaking like that because my mother-in-law lives with us, and she's notorious for not using her cane or walker and falling. So make sure that you have your cane or walker with you if you need them.
While it may be cliche, Tolley says shoveling the driveway and walkways of an elderly neighbor is not only a friendly act of kindness, but it can also help lower the risk of them falling if they exit their home.
If you are able-bodied and you can help shovel out a senior, boy, that would be so helpful because we go to a lot of houses. They don't have people in their lives. They don't have the finances to pay someone, and so they can't get their driveways or their sidewalks shoveled off. So if you're able to do that and you have some extra time, look around your neighborhood, see if somebody needs some help. You just want to be cautious. Wear layers both inside and out because you just want to stay warm. It's important to keep your body at the right temperature.
To learn more about the services offered by OSF Piecemeal, visit osfhealthcare.org. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors. News time is 19 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. America's most historic highway is celebrating a big birthday in 2026, and a local museum is honoring the milestone. Michaela Harris with the McLean County Museum of History indicates that they will be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Route 66 with a county-wide decades-themed party at the start of June. She says the construction of the highway that connects the Midwest to the West Coast truly represents the theme of American expansion at the time.
Yeah, so for those who may not know, 2026 is going to be the Route 66 centennial. So Route 66 was established as a national highway in 1926. It connected the Midwest to the West Coast. I think it's really emblematic of a lot of that, like American freedom and expansion and exploration. So the biggest thing that I'm most excited about in 2026 to celebrate the Route 66 anniversary is that we are going to be doing a county-wide decades party in McLean County. So you'll start in Chenoa in the 1920s, and then you'll go all the way through all of the Route 66 stops in McLean County, ending in McLean in the 80s. It will be a 2-day celebration on 6/6/26 is the first date. So that is June 6th. It's Saturday, 2026. And then also the festivities will spill over into Sunday. But I'm really hoping that will be a great opportunity for folks to get out. You know, we have international tourists that visit to go on Route 66 every single day. They come through our Cruising with Lincoln on 66 Visitor Center gift shop at the museum. But I'm really hoping that this kind of weekend of festivities will be an opportunity for local folks from throughout Central Illinois to come to our communities to experience this history, to learn about how Route 66 shaped the local area, the local economy, and the greater world around us.
Harris announces that in February, they will open a pop-up exhibit that highlights Route 66 with a focus on how its construction affected McLean County communities. She says the historic highway brings international travelers to the museum every day.
Throughout the year, we're really excited. In February at the museum, we are installing a pop-up exhibit, a hallway exhibit that highlights Route 66 items from our collection and kind of hones in on that idea of innovation through local stories. So people who lived and worked in McLean County and were impacted by the kind of establishing of Route 66 and how that transformed lives in the area.
Yeah.
There is a man in Bulgaria who makes Route 66 passports, and they are wildly popular.
Oh.
And we have a stop in that Route 66 passport, and that is what brings a lot of people through. Because as you go along the route, all the way from Chicago to LA, or if you do it vice versa, people stop and they get their stamps. It makes it really fun. So, and I know there's a couple different versions of those passports coming out. There will be an Illinois-specific passport, but there's so many things to enjoy right here in Illinois for folks to do, and I hope that people can kind of adopt some of that. Again, there's going to be things happening throughout the state. I think it's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah. Harris indicates they will be opening a new exhibit based on baseball and softball and its impact in Central Illinois, and we'll have more on that in the weeks ahead from the Hart Media Group. Learn more at mchistory.org. The Illinois High School Association is highlighting 125 moments that have helped shape the organization's 125-year legacy. The IHSA historian Scott Johnson is compiling the list and releasing the information throughout this academic year.
Well, I was approached by Matt Troll, who is at the IHSA, about helping him put together some articles, some brief articles for weekly consumption on the IHSA website, having to do with its history and some of the great moments, some of the interesting personalities, tournament highlights, that type of thing, just to spice things up on the website and the social media over the course of the year. So they're not going to be ranked in any order, and they're going to appear maybe sort of in the time frame that it needs to be if it's a tournament event or something like that. But, they might just pop up during any point during the season. One of the things that we're definitely going to talk about in some of these articles are the 29 members of the National High School Hall of Fame who hail from Illinois. That's the Hall of Fame that's sponsored by the National Federation of State High School Associations. But in addition to those 29, we've got 96 other slots that we need to fill. So you'll be seeing lots of different stuff over the course of the year.
The IHSA was founded on December 27th, 1900. You can follow the 125 moments at ihsa.org/125. As the year comes to a close, farmers are considering their 2026 planting decisions and what to do with their stored bushels. Jacob Burks is with agmarket.net.
I think the biggest questions I've had, we spent a lot of time over the year, my customers that I'm working with of what the game plan is as we go into the stored bushels. The biggest questions that I'm probably dealing with right now is what about next year? And what about 2026 planting numbers? Before the beans had made a move back up in the fall, I would have said, we were going to see a little bit heavier bean mixture. Corn acres could fall down to 90 million or less, just because of the value and what the cost that we're going to see going into this crop. So my encouragement, the biggest thing that, get to the end of the year, and what does every farmer want to do? They want to balance up their spending. They want to balance up what they're forking out money. And some of these guys are going out and spending a lot of money on inputs. My suggestion to them is match up some of those costs, some of those input costs with sales. If we're locking ourselves too heavy on one side of our balance sheet, I think it could be a problem. So I'm encouraging you guys to look at some ways to strategize protecting price if they're putting input cost in their budget.
One of the first big reports in the new year is January 12th USDA World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimates. A senior agriculture department official lists some of the events in the ag economy and ag sector that he believes were notable in 2025.
Economy in 2025, according to USDA, economists set life. There's a lot of there's kind of stuff we talk about, great weather. There's animal disease, on the trade in terms of policy, other policies like in the new year, and the things that are influenced by the ag sector as well. Other than agriculture in 2025, new agriculture, record crop projections, corn, and global markets for crop growers, strong economic factors, stock producers. Reporting for U.S. agriculture in Washington State.
Now for your local obituaries. Kobe Daryl Reynolds, 27, of Decatur, Illinois, passed away at 12:35 a.m. December 26, 2025, in rural Clinton, Illinois. Services for Kobe will be 1 p.m. Monday, January 5th, at the Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with Pastor Jonathan Roberson officiating. Burial will follow at DeWitt Cemetery in DeWitt, Illinois. Visitation will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday at the funeral home. Memorials may be directed to the Kobe Reynolds Memorial Fund. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all, it's all free all the time, right at your fingertips at DeWittDailyNews.com.